バラの庭園は記憶にあったんだけどよ。
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Umineko. This is the second episode of the series, and we just left off when we met the servant Kanon, and we did the list of my favorite characters thus far. As of right now, I like Maria, Battler, and Rosa the best. And I've been watching Higurashi Go, and I was kind of surprised that on the latest episode, we got to see a good side to a character I've never imagined I would ever see a redemption arc on. And that made me, I don't know, that made me feel a little bit weird. Because that man did so many bad things, so I don't know how to process it. But leaving Higurashi alone for the second, let's go back into the troubles of the Ushiromiya family with Ushiromiya Battler. Man, I love that name.
このゲストハウスっつうのは記憶にねえな。
Oh yeah, we entered the guest house with Goda, I think, right?
これ、建てたのは最近か？
I don't like Goda, he's quite creepy. To Orion, Visitor's Retreat was written on a gatepost-like thing, but since everyone calls it the guest house, I followed their lead. The brand new Western-style guest house that stood overlooking the rose garden had a magnificent design carefully done in harmony with the garden.
正解だよ。建ったのはつい一昨年さ。
2 years ago.
それ以降は僕たちはこっちに止めさせてもらってるんだよ。
Because Battler was away for 6 years, right? And I theorized that Rudolph was quite an unfaithful guy because he and Kyrie had been business partners from the character's menu. And I theorized that Battler knew that his dad cheated on his mother with Kyrie and then left. That's what I theorized. And I think they've been in a relationship way before, and Rudolph used the mother's death as stay with his loved one, which was Kyrie. I think he loved Kyrie. That's what I theorized, at least. But let's see, maybe it's something completely different.
年季の入ったボロ屋敷よりこっちの方が好評みてえだしな。私も自分の部屋をこっちに持ちたいぜ。
There's the guest house. There is a mansion. But this is a mansion as well. What the hell? They're rich as hell.
Maria も持ちたい。持ちたい。
Yeah, I like Maria the most. I guess you could call my house upper class as well, but I was reminded again how completely ordinary it was compared to the head house. It showed a shocking display of wealth that they would build this kind of awesome guest house for guests who come over like once a year.
Eva sama, Hideyoshi sama.
I'm sorry, Goda. Your smile creeps me off.
こちらのお部屋をお使いくださいませ。ルドルフ様、キリエ様はこちらのお部屋をお使いくださいませ。
やっぱりここは綺麗で上品でいいわね。
I don't hate Eva, but I dislike her way of speaking. She's a waifu though, I guess.
洋風って本当に素敵だわ。
ほんの2、3日なら洋風もええやろが、ずっといて落ち着くのは断固和風やで。日本人は畳の上が一番くつろげるんや。
新しい家を和風にするか洋風にするかで喧嘩してね。お父さんが和風で着工させたのを母さんまだ根に持ってよく言い合いをするんだよ。
As a Westerner, I like Westerner style. And I love Westerner style mansion mysteries, so this is the best.
ジョージ兄さんのところは両親仲が良くて羨ましいぜ。
Should I start theorizing who's going to die? Because I think it's going to be George. George is going to die. He's just too nice. I don't know.
うちなんか冷め切ったもんさ。そのくせ、私の成績の話だけは連帯しやがる。
Needs to kill someone quite close to Battler as well. So I think they are going to kill George, which is his friend. They're going to kill Kyrie. Kyrie is going to die. All the rooms seem to be two-person. Because right now, Battler is the protagonist, so he needs to get to the people close to him dead. I don't think Rudolph's going to die, because Battler hates Rudolph. But I think that he has a really good relationship with Kyrie from their jokester. They threw jokes at Rudolph earlier, so Kyrie, George. Who's going to kill them? Goda or Kanon? Kanon carrying the tools. I see. Other rooms seem to be two-person. I was grateful because now I wasn't going to be forced to share the same room with the old bastard from bullshit reason like being family. Yeah, see? He hates Rudolph. Besides, I figured those two wouldn't be able to enjoy themselves with someone like me around. Hehehe.
何気持ち悪い顔で笑ってんのよ。どうせ下世話なこと考えてるんでしょう。
いっへへへへ。下世話なんてとんでもない。どうぞごゆっくりお過ごしくださいませ。
Yeah, see?
あ、はい、で。
They have a good relationship for stepmother, stepson. I don't know.
言えたよ、クソ親父。
Once again, that pulled my ears from behind.
バカなこと言ってんじゃねえ。俺は胃がキリキリ痛み始めてて、とてもそんな元気は湧かねえぜ。
So you're going to the bathroom with your magazines, right, Rudolph?
今回はお前が主賓だろうが。
Because Kyrie has an iron grip around your balls.
せいぜい親父や兄貴たちに可愛がられろよ。親父の前では言葉遣いにだけ気をつけろ。あの人、本当にシャレが通じねえからな。ジェシカちゃん、我らが当主様のご機嫌は最近どうなんだ？
去年から相変わらずかな。余命3ヶ月、余命3ヶ月って割には、相変わらずピンピン、カリカリ、イライラしてるって話です。
今年も相変わらず不機嫌ってわけね。お守りができるのはやっぱり源氏さんだけなの？
親方様も源氏さんにだけは心を許しておいでのようです。私たち下々では近頃はお目通りすらなかなか叶わず。
また書斎に閉じこもって怪しげな黒魔術三昧じゃねえのかな。何をやろうとてめえの趣味だから構わねえけど、匂いが立ち込める系は勘弁してほしいもんだぜ。
They're talking about Kinzo, right? The grandfather. They say black magic, and Maria knows black magic, right? Wasn't it on the characters? Occult and black magic, yeah, I'm right. So Maria and Kinzo.
ついでにそのまま書斎から永久に出てくんなってんだ。
年長の人にそんな言い方をするもんじゃないよ。後宮家を復興させてくれた大恩人なんだから、もっと感謝しないと。
まあ、 ごめん。
After being rebuked by Georgianiki, Jessica had no choice but to take back her thoughtless remarks. The Ushiromiya family was wealthy beyond belief, but that, of course, meant that all its members were eccentric people, completely at odds with the rest of the society. The head of the family, standing at its peak, in other words, our grandfather, seemed to be a particularly eccentric and terrifying person, even for our family. That had said he was getting a stomach ache earlier. But I guess that was what all the adults who came here today were actually feeling. No doubt they were jealous of us, the grandchildren, just playing and laughing without a care. From the stories Dad told me, the head of the family was a violent man who rained blows on his sons with his own fists, and even beat his daughters mercilessly with a wooden sword. Okay, Kinzo is at the bottom of the barrel, I guess. The hell? How are you? How the... How do you beat your daughters with a fucking sword, man? He was such a staunch traditionalist with his kids. Why wasn't he the same with their names? Because of that, even us grandkids had to suffer. Well, I have absolutely no trouble believing the terrifying image they paint of him. I don't have many memories of meeting him over the years, but I remember his face was full of menacing thunderclouds, always making the people around him shrink away with a sharp look. I remember that the room's atmosphere got so tense whenever he was around, you couldn't even breathe. What my dad said right now about me being the guest of honor now carries a little more oomph to me. Oh, he's been gone for 6 years, right? Oh, from the family conference. Kinzo's not going to be happy about Battler, I guess.
6年前は俺も小学生だったが、さすがに今は高校生だ。失礼のある態度なんか取ったら大変なことになるかもしれねえな。怖え怖え。
I want you to act just as you are, Battler, and see his reactions.
確かにこわもてだけど、そんなに硬くなるほど怖い人じゃないよ。決して理不尽なことは言ってないもん。口下手なだけで、ちゃんと筋は通す人だよ。
ジョージ兄さんは昔から成績優秀で、一族の鏡じゃねえかよ。私たちとじゃ、じい様の待遇が全然違うぜ。
Oh, so Kinzo likes George.
私なんか木刀で引っ叩かれたことあるしよ。
Jessica as well, even the grandkids. Oh my god. And why the sword for the women and the fists for the men? What the hell?
尻だぜ尻。それも乙女の生尻をよ。
ジェシカちゃんは本家の跡取り娘だもん。
Stop with the cloudy glasses, please.
おじい様も特に目をかけてくれてるんだよ。その厳しさは期待の気持ちの裏返しだと思わなくちゃ。
冗談じゃねえぜ。その跡取りってやつはジョージ兄さんに譲るよ。
So Jessica is the next. No, wait. Wouldn't it be her parents though? So she's the main family, right?
私が担ぐにはちょいとしんどいぜ。
I think I already said it before, but Jessica is the daughter of who will inherit the head house. The pressure on her shoulders must be different from us cousins of the branch families. So, Rudolph and Eva are the younger siblings, right? It's complicated.
ジェシカお姉ちゃんが重い？マリアが持ったら軽くなる？
Maria, you are good.
サンキューな。 大丈夫。マリアちゃんには押し付けねえよ。この十字架は、私が墓まで背負ってくよ。
Oh, okay, so she's fine with it, I guess.
安心しなって。
While grateful for Maria's innocent consideration, it seemed that Jessica could not easily rid herself of the anxiety for the future that remained visible on her face. I guess I'm no different. Any high schoolers with exams looming ahead is bound to have an anxiety for the future that they can't hide.
マリアいらっしゃい。
Rosa is a sibling, right? As well. Because Maria's are. Where is her?
お母さんとマリアはこの部屋よ。
Where's her partner, though?
バトラ君は僕と一緒にこっちの部屋だってさ。
おお
Wait. There's no partner. Maybe he'll show up later.
なになにこりゃ驚いた。親たちの部屋より広めじゃないのよ。わお
What's that over there? There's like a painting on the couch. I have no idea.
どうせいとこ同士で集まるだろうと思ってよ。大きめの部屋にするように言っておいたんだ。
おー、マリアもこっちがいい。ママと一緒よりこっちがいい。おー。
そうか。マリアもこっちがいいか。よし。ここは俺とジョージ兄貴の部屋だが、特別に出入りを許可してやろう。お母さんには内緒だぞ。
Battler, you are quite alright in my book. Her mother, Auntie Rosa, was right behind her, but Maria still answered, striking the air with her fists clenched tight. After her parents put the luggage in the rooms, they gathered again in the corridor.
おいガキども、お前らはどうする？ここでいとこ同士おしゃべりでもしてるか？
Seems they were heading to the mansion to announce their arrival. Normally we would have to follow them and greet everyone together. But if that had been the case, that would just have said, you guys come too, and being done with it. He's telling us that it's alright if we don't come. So what will we do?
どうせもうすぐお昼や。子供はそこでくつろいでたらええ。それに表で遊べるのは下手をすると今のうちだけかもしれんしの。
マリアも行く。
マリアはここでお留守番してなさい。いたずらをしないで、おとなしく待ってるのよ。
Now
that Maria had been told to house sit, we couldn't just leave her behind. George and Nikki realized that immediately and gave a clear reply for all of us.
じゃあ、僕たちはお言葉に甘えて留守番してようか。1年ぶりに積もる話もあるしね。
George knows how to ad-lib, I guess.
それがいいわ。バトラ君なんか6年分積もってるんだしね。
へいへい。お子ちゃまな俺はおとなしくお留守番してるぜ。
熊沢さん、私もこっちに残るからよ。
Yeah, Battler is better at the whole sarcastic thing.
あとは大人に任せて若者は退散してるぜ。
Sarcastic ad-libbing.
それがおよろしいでしょう。奥様にはそのようにお伝えいたします。
それでは皆様、
Madam.
お屋敷の方へご案内させていただきます。
Ah, that smile makes me creeped out.
どうぞこちらへ。
他の子はともかく、ジョージは成人してるんだから連れて行った方がいいんじゃない？
そんなんでジョージだけ仲間外れはかわいそうやで。いとこ同士の交流も大事や。ほな、行ってくるで。
The adults left one after the other. Like the time he had guided us from the harbor, Goda's-san went ahead, Kumasawa-san at the rear. So the cousins are now alone. As we gather in the cousins' room assigned to us, Georgianiki asked us to excuse him for a second. He rushed over to Kumasawa-san, who was following behind the disappearing adults. He seemed to be asking her something. He soon finished his business and came back.
どうしたんだよ、兄貴。
ああ、なんでもないよ。ちょっと聞きたいことがあっただけさ。
I'm always suspecting the glasses wearing guy. This is anime after all.
マリアにも聞いて。マリアにも聞いて。
何かな。ジョージ兄さんが私に聞かなくて熊沢さんには聞くことって何かな。なあ、全然見当がつかねえぜ。
She has a clue. Okay.
いや、誤解だよ。ジェシカちゃんが何を誤解してるのか知らないけど。
Oh, he's sweating. She knows. Nikki was getting pretty tongue-tied. It's like he had something to hide, and Jessica had the dirt on him. Whatever it is, something only Jessica knows, and I don't think it's fun at all.
なあ、マリア。俺たちだけのけ者なんてねえよな。何の話か聞きてえよな。
バトラとマリアも聞きたい。バトラとマリアも聞きたい。
Okay, these two are my favorite duo. I fooled around while oohing together with Maria.
いや、だから大したことじゃ。
God, I hope Maria doesn't die.
さっつけ。兄貴にしちゃ嘘が下手だぜ。拍手しやがれ。マリア、お前は右脇をくすぐれ。俺は左脇だ。
マリアは右脇で、バトラは左脇だ。
ちょっと二人ともやめて。やめ。
George and Nikki rolled around on the bed in an effort to get away, and Maria and I played around chasing him. There's something in the back of my mind telling me I'm a high schooler now, not a damn kid, but in spite of that, I miss this kind of fun. A warm kind of fun.
ジョージ兄さんが熊沢さんに聞いたのはね。まあ、ほら、あれだぜ。兄さんも本家は1年ぶりだからよ。その間に辞めた使用人とか入った使用人とか、そういうのがいたら挨拶したいって、そういうことらしいぜ。
Wait, what? He's really dying to say hi to any servants that might have joined or quit in the meantime, see?
挨拶する。マリアも挨拶する。
なんだよそれ。全然やましくねえじゃねえかよ、兄貴。
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Is there...
違うな。マリア、騙されるな。兄貴は何か隠してるぞ。尋問再開だ。おりゃ。
やめてよ、本当に。マリアちゃんも、もうやめて。
多分掃除とか昼飯の準備とかで忙しいんだよ。大丈夫。後でちゃんと挨拶に来るぜ。ゴーダの出しゃばりの出迎えより、シャノンの出迎えの方が良かったってんだろ。
Shannon. Oh, I see. I see, George. Ah, ha, ha. Ah, I know your secret now. So you like girl here, huh?
シャノン？シャノン。ああ！ 思い出したぜ。そんな子もいた。
Yes, yes, yes. My theory is confirmed. He likes a girl here.
今も使用人やってんのか？
Oh, she's a servant, yeah. You said that earlier.
元気かよ。
Oh, Jessica said that. So Shannon. Shannon and George are
そういや、夏日姉さん。
Natsuhi. Natsuhi 姉さん。
最近頭痛の方はどうなんや。一時だいぶしんどそうにしとったろ。
おかげで最近はだいぶ調子がいいです。
Is she a waifu?
心配をしてくれてありがとう。
She's a Ushiromiya. Is she the
そうだ、
madam?
これ。夏日姉さんにお土産。
No, the madam would be Kinzo's wife, right?
いつもありがとう。あなたには何かをもらってばかりね。これは紅茶？
ペパーミントとレモンバームのハーブティー。頭痛によく効くって有名なお店のブレンドなの。姉さんにも効くかなって思って。
Oh. Rosa was always a conscientious woman. Probably because she was the youngest of the four, by quite some distance. She managed to grow up without harboring the venomosity of her siblings. Her consideration made Natsuhi soften her expression for just a moment. But it wasn't enough to undo the many years of anxiety that had curdled her expression into one of a bland indifference.
そういえばあなた、いっつも頭痛だって言ってたわね。しっかりなさいな。ジェシカちゃん、今年は受験でしょ？
Oh, Natsuhi is Jessica's mom.
人生の節目じゃない。母親のあなたがそんなじゃ頼りないわよ。それに夏日姉さん、私より3つも若いんだから。もうちょっとしっかりなさい。ごめんなさい。生まれつきの頭痛持ちなもので。
Oh, chronic headaches. Those are a pain. Eva sometimes failed to choose her words carefully, but even though she hid it with a smile, her comments aimed at Natsuhi contained shards of obvious malice. Yeah. So these two are not. Of course, that didn't escape Natsuhi. She frantically contained her urge to grimace and pretended to ignore Eva.
うちのバトラ君も今年は受験でしょ？ルドルフさんも少しは関心を持ったら？自分の息子のために夏日姉さんみたいに頭痛になるくらい真剣になりなさいよ。
Oh yeah, Battler is 18 years old, right? Guess he's on the last year.
俺が何か言えば必ず反抗するやつだぜ。じゃあなんて言うんだ。むしろ逆で遊んでていいぞっていうのか？あいつそういうのだけは素直に聞きやがるぜ。秀吉兄さんのところは受験本当にうまくいったじゃないですか。ぜひ子供操縦術の秘訣を教えてくださいよ。
そうやな。何のために勉強するのかっちゅうことを説いたかもしれんな。個々の勉強に意味があるわけやないんや。そう、勉強っちゅうのはわからんことを自分で調べて身につけるという行為の練習なんや。これができんやつは社会に出ても使い物にならん。国語算数ができろと言ってるんやない。勉強し身につけることを学べっちゅうことやな。
ご立派ですわ。うちのジェシカにもそれが理解できればいいんだけど。
What? What's this guy's name again? Hideyoshi. Speaking the truth, but math is important.
今のままではとてもじゃないけど、後ろ宮家の跡取りとしては。いいじゃないの。無理に跡取りにしなくても。女には女の幸せというものもあるんだし。
What are you implying?
それを親が押し付けちゃ悪いわよ。
What are you implying?
予算買えば、子供の育て方は家それぞれや。押し付けがましいのはあかんで。
ごめんなさい。
Eva is like taking a nosedive for me in popularity. In my popularity lists, in my favorite characters. Eva is like taking a nosedive.
夏日姉さんも気を悪くしないでね。
Yeah, she's just bullying Natsuhi. I can see that quite clearly. Though the light shining in through the window was quite warm despite the cloudy weather, there was a dark mood about the room, which probably caused headaches for other people besides Natsuhi. As if to brush away that mood, Kirei brightly made a suggestion to all present.
でも、本当に素敵な香りの紅茶ね。早速いただいてみましょうよ。
Kirei knows how to deflect a bad situation, I
日
guess.
本じゃ確か銀座でしか買えなかったはずよ。
キリエ姉さんはお詳しいですね。買ってきた甲斐がありました。
Kirei and Rosa stood up for their seats and made us to prepare the black tea. Natsuhi forestalled them.
お二人ともありがとう。それは後でいただきましょう。うちの者がすぐお茶を持ってきますので、どうぞおくつろぎください。
So you don't want to drink the tea that Rosa brought you.
二人とも後にしろよ。ウェルカムドリンクくらいごちそうになろうぜ。
Rudolph gave a subtle signal with his eyes for them to sit down again. Kirei and Rosa understood instantly and obediently returned to their seats. The guests had already been greeted, so it was time for some tea to be prepared for them. That tea was late. Having the guests talk about making some themselves was an embarrassment for the host. Natsuhi bit her lower lip, frustrated with the inaptitude of the servants who were taking too long to bring the tea. Seeing her face, Eva, without hesitation, started to giggle. Man. Of course, Shannon had no way of knowing what was taking place in the parlor. So this... As she came in pushing a dish cart piled with teacups, Natsuhi gave her a pained look for no apparent reason, and Shannon couldn't help but flinch without knowing what she had done wrong. Man...
失礼いたします。
Man, she has some huge, a huge personality, I guess. So this is Shannon, who George wants to meet, I guess.
お茶のご用意をさせていただきます。
おう、シャノンちゃん、久しぶりやの。ますますべっぴんさんになりよったな。
いえ、どうも。
おしゃべりは配膳を済ませてからになさい。お茶が冷めます。
申し訳ございません、奥様。
She apologized like a small frightened animal, and bumping against the serving cart, made a jarring racket as she dropped several teaspoons. Oh, her clumsiness made Natsuhi's expression even harsher, which made Shannon in turn quail even more.
いいのよ、夏日姉さん。挨拶の一つくらいしたってどうってことないわよ。もう十分待たされてる分、十分お茶も冷めてるもの。
Okay, Eva.
それは大丈夫です。冷めてはおりませんので。
シャノン、早く配膳を済ませなさい。
失礼しました、奥様。
It was obvious that Natsuhi was getting irritated. Inaptitude that delayed the tea, the clumsiness of the servant, everything pointed to the incompetence of Natsuhi's everyday guidance, making her lose face. As the person in charge of matters of the Ushiromiya family, Ushiromiya head house, allowing that clumsiness to be exposed today, of all days, was surely nothing less than total humiliation. Chill a bit. Chill.
よせよ、夏日姉さん。シャノンちゃんだって頑張ってるのに、いじめちゃかわいそうだぜ。
いじめてなんかいません。
いい香りね。
Natsuhi and Eva need to chill.
お茶の銘柄を聞いてもいいかしら。
Kyrie again with the
申し訳
save.
ございません。後ほど調べてまいります。
Kyrie had tried to be nice to her, wanting to cut through the tense mood. However, instead, Shannon has shown a disgraceful display, darkening Natsuhi's face and the room's mood. Oh, she doesn't know the tea brand. By this point, Eva's giggles were loud enough to be heard by everyone in the room. Okay, Eva, just stop, okay? You're making this way worse.
シャノンちゃん、自分で入れてるものが何かもわからないの？
Oh no.
ダメよ。そんな怪しげなものを来客に振る舞っちゃ。
I can hear how sarcastic she is. Oh
こ
my
んな
god.
お茶じゃ銀のスプーンでもないと飲めないわよ。
すみません。
Silver spoon.
すぐに用意を。
ねえシャノンちゃん、銀のスプーンって何に使うか知ってる？
Is that for...
銀じゃないとダメなのよ。なぜかわかる？
I don't know.
いえ、
I have a guess. Eva's eyes played over Shannon, who was setting the table, as a catty smile floated on her face. Taking on its own, the expression of Eva's face may have been charming in an impish sort of way. However, the words being spun from her lips held within them the keenness of a razor. Shannon tried with all her might to avoid Eva's gaze, which continued to focus on her. Grasping that Shannon was hard-pressed for an answer, Rosa promptly gave some timely help.
銀は毒に触れると曇るって言われてるの。
They say poison. Is that true?
シャノンちゃんも一つお勉強ができたわね。
I'm searching for this. I need to know. Yeah, that's... Oh, it says here. Sulfur-based. Silver spoons were also helpful in avoiding poisons, as they would tarnish or on contact with sulfur, arsenic, and other compounds. But I don't think it's all. The tea was being treated as undrinkable unless it could be first tested for poison. In Natsuhi's eyes, this was an insult to both the tea and herself for serving it. Rudolph, laughing flippantly, patted Eva's shoulders.
姉貴に銀食器なんていらねえだろ。毒舌の姉貴が一舐めしたら、銀の皿だって真っ黒に曇っちまうぜ。
Oh, Rudolph again with the burns.
わしはその毒舌を毎日聞かされとるから、もう毒に耐性がついてしもたわ。エヴァもわし相手には構わんが、耐性のない相手にはちいと加減せんとな。
あらあらひどい。シャノンちゃんにお茶の知識を教えてあげただけじゃない。
Oh no, she's trying to smooth over. Everyone followed the lead set by Hideyoshi's hoarse laugh and smiled, though sourly. There remained a single exception to this in Natsuhi, but even so, for the time being, the conversation inside the parlor could now be mistaken for a lively and friendly chat. As Shannon finally finished setting the tea table and made to leave, Kyrie apologized to her in a low voice for not being able to help. Okay, Kyrie is slowly climbing up. Shannon gave a light bow and made a hasty retreat. Shannon cast her eyes downwards, pushing the cart down the corridor. The pitiful air around her made it obvious that she had borne with the brunt of some bullying.
気を落とさないで。姉さんは何も悪くない。
Also, Kanon is the little brother.
見てたのね。
そういうお役目だから。
Yeah, they have the same eyes.
奥様もエヴァ様も地獄へ落ちろ。
Oh. Motives. Yes. 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 My canon theory as the culprit is growing. First, the cart with the tools. Now, a motive. Yes.
でも、それより卑劣なのはあいつだ。
That guy. Kanon glared hatefully in the opposite direction of the parlor. Is he talking about Rudolph? No. Yeah, Rudolph, right? The preparations for the tea had been delayed by a little bit of trouble in the kitchen. That trouble had not been Shannon's fault. The truth is that it had been Goldie's mistake. Oh, I see. I see. In the first place, there was no way that a show-off like Goda would ever hand over a flamboyant job like carting the tea to the guests. He had needed to make the tea all over again, which had made him late. So, realizing he wouldn't be earning any brownie points, he had pushed the task of sorting the table on Shannon, who happened to be passing by. Okay, Goda. Okay. That's cruel, man. One could truthfully call it being shrewd, and one could unquestionably call it cowardice. Yeah.
いいの。ありがとう、カノン君。
No, they switched positions.
私、全然気にしていないし。
Kanon's silence vividly showed that Shannon's words weren't coming from her heart.
ありがとう。
Yeah, they have the same eyes.
カノン君だけでも分かってくれたんで、ちょっと心が楽になったかな。
姉さんは心にいろいろ溜め込みすぎる。たまには自分に優しくしてあげて。
うん。ありがとうね。
Suddenly, they felt someone's presence and whirled around. An elderly man stood there. It was Genji, the head servant.
そこで何をしている?
Rode no way Genji.
シャノン、早く厨房に戻りなさい。
あ、はい。失礼いたしました。
So, I think both of them aren't really liked here, huh? Shannon humbly obeyed and promptly made to push the cart and leave. However, Kanon appealed to Genji in silence, bearing something in his eyes that he could not express in words.
どうした? 何かあったか?
シャノンは何も悪くないのに。あいつら。
やめて、カノン君。失礼しました。すぐに仕事に戻ります。カノン君も自分の持ち場に戻って。お願い。
姉さんがそう言うなら。
何事もないなら、そうしなさい。
はい。失礼します。
Oh my god, what the hell? What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. That scared me. From the shadows in the hallway, an old woman wearing an apron watched over them. It was Kumasawa.
おいたわしや。シャノンさん、カノンさん。あの二人がいじめられる理由は何もないのです。しかし、ゴーダさんに嫌われているのは紛れもない事実。ゴーダさんは、後ろ宮本家へいらっしゃられるまで、どこかの立派なホテルにお勤めだったそうです。そこで身につけられたというお仕事ぶりは、そりゃ大したものだとは思います。ただ、ゴーダさんはここでは最も年季の短い使用人。ご自身のそれまでの積み重ねによるプライドもあられたのでしょう。彼は自分より長い年季を持ちながらも、未熟で人生経験も及ばないシャノンさんとカノン君をことあるごとにいびられるのです。
Okay, this guy. I don't like the guy. I already said that Goda has a creepy smile.
また、気の毒なことに、夏日奥様にも嫌われております。もちろん、年季という意味では奥様の方が長くこの家におられます。
Yeah, I saw how badly she treated Shannon earlier. And Eva as well.
ただ、こればかりは奥様にも同情しなくてはなりません。
I mean, it's just Eva bullying her, right?
本当に親方様も罪作りな方でございます。ご自身のちょっとした気まぐれが奥様にこれほどまでの劣等感をお与えになるとは、どうして思い至らなかったのでしょう。
What are they saying here? This is important. The master... Is she talking about her husband?
もちろん、奥様とて内心は、あの二人に辛く当たる言われは何もないことを重々承知してはおります。しかし、それが理屈で分かっているからといって、どうにもならないのが人の心。ああ、ほいたわしや。私には何もできず、こうして物陰から見守ることしかできないのです。
Four of us cousins were shooting the breeze over all kinds of topics. After all, there are both girls and guys here. Plus, we've got people over a wide spree of ages, adult, high school, and elementary school. All each of us had to do was talk about ourselves, and it would be a great of interest to the other three.
なんかやっと馴染んできたぜ。ジェシカもマリアも6年前からは想像もつかないくらい成長しちまったからよ。
Man, they keep bringing up the 6 years. So important.
正直なところ、少しだけ違和感を持ってたんだが、こうして話をしているうちに、中身はあの頃から何も変わってないことが分かったぜ。
同じ言葉を返してやるよ。バートラだって6年ぶりだってのに全然変わってねえぜ。図体がいくらでかくなっても中身は相変わらずお子様だってことだな。
マリアもお子様。マリアもお子様。
マリアだっていつまでもお子様じゃねえぞ。お子様から可愛いお姫様に成長してくんだからな。そうしたらまな板みてえな胸もすぐジェシカ並みになるぞ。
Okay. There's something that I have to address here. I don't like a battler sexually harasses people. It's the only thing I hate about him.
そしたら
Oh no!
してくれよ。約束
Stop!
だぞ。
Stop! No, don't promise him that. Stop.
ダメだよ、マリアちゃん。そんな約束しちゃダメ。
Okay, George coming to the rescue, I guess.
約束したから揉ませる。
Oh no, don't do that.
マリア、約束は守る。絶対守る。
マリア、お前本当に素直ないい子だな。お前と結婚する未来の旦那さんはきっと幸せ者だぜ。
っていい話にすり替えつつ約束を保持してんじゃねえぜ。マリア、その約束はなし。
Thank goodness.
約束取り消し。
Yes.
やっぱりバトラ君も揃って4人で集まらないといとこが集合した気がしなかったね。この6年はやっぱり寂しかったよ。
そうだな。こういうふざけた話には
Should
な
I
らな
take
か
a
ったな。
shot every time they mention 6 years? Should I take a shot every time they do that? But I don't drink alcohol, so no.
でも建設的な話はできてたと思ったぜ。
It will be a shot of water instead.
将来に対する心構えとか受験とか就職とかよ。
悪うございましたね。俺が来たらおまぬけなドタバタばっかりでよ。
でもマリアは
Butler
今
is
年のが
salty.
楽しい。
そうだね、僕も同感。今年が一番楽しいよ。
Yeah, Butler is much more outgoing than I am. Maria's sincere words probably spoke for everyone. When George and Nikki stroked Maria's head, she giggled like a happy kitten. Oh?
失礼いたします。
Weren't you in the kitchen?
お食事のご用意ができました。
Oh, I'm sorry. A timid knocking sound and an equally timid young woman's voice came through the door. Jessica answered brightly.
シャノン、入れよ。バトラは覚えてるだろ。
Jessica stood up from the bed and opened the door. There stood a servant girl who was definitely about our age.
ご無沙汰いたしております。バトラ様。6年ぶりでございます。シャノンです。
Picking my water. Took a shot. I'm sorry, I can't drink alcohol. Noting my presence and trembling a little, she bowed deeply.
ジェシカにも驚かされたが、シャノンちゃんにも驚かされたぜ。あんたもすっかり美人になったじゃねえのよ。
もったいないお言葉。
しかしよ、この島じゃよっぽど食事の栄養価が高いんじゃねえのか。
もったいないお言葉。強烈に存じます。
Does she? Oh. Does she like Battler?
何を食ってどこを鍛えたらそんなにでっかい
Am
お胸になるん
I
だか。
sensing a love triangle? Oh.
ジェシカとどっちができるか、ジョイント触って確かめさせてもらうぜ。
Oh my god, please stop. With both hands poised and saliva dribbling from my mouth, I closed in. For the sake of my honor and justice, I'd like to point out that I don't suffer from strange disease that makes my lymph nodes itch until I scratch my neck open, and which can only be preventing my rubbing and which can only be prevented by rubbing breasts. Is that a reference to Higurashi with the scratch neck open? Yeah, that's it. But instead of rubbing breasts, it's killing people. It's just my battler style way of communicating. Yeah, sexual harassment, yay! When a boy closes in on a girl like this, 9 times out of 10 they get slapped or collabored, right? This is a battler-sama original communication technique, aiming for a gag like that to break the ice. Oh, well, that means I really do get to touch them on that 1 in a 10 chance though, right? Yeah. I never asked for that much though. Oh my god. By now my hands were less than a centimeter away from Shannon's chest, but Counter-Strike had yet to come. She understood what was going on, and she was blushing and had her head lowered in embarrassment. She was just standing there with both hands politely joined in front of her, not even trying to resist or cover her breasts. Whoa, I wasn't planning on this. Please, hit me right now. That's right, I'm seriously gonna touch them. Stop yourself, dude. Stop it. Which is why I was glad that Jessica chose that time to drive her elbow into the back of my head.
Jessica, ありがとうよ。
なんで私が感謝されんだ？お？
いやいや、すまんぜ、シャノンちゃん。魅力的な胸に思わず吸着されそうになっちまった。
Oh my god.
つうか、さすがにあの間合いまで来たら犯罪確定だろ。
Then go to prison right now.
ダメだぜ。抵抗しなきゃよ。
Go to prison right now, Battler. You're saying bad shit.
ですけど、バトラ様は大切なお客様ですし。
あのな、お客様でも犯罪は犯罪。女の子の胸はだいたい10センチくらいからが防空識別圏だな。2センチ圏まで侵入してきたら、これはもう領空侵犯だぜ。スクランブル発進で即ビンタを食らわせてやれ。
Or maybe she likes you.
そんなことできません。私たちは家具ですし。
Furniture. Of course, she didn't want her breasts touched, but if a guest so desired, she intended to sacrifice her own need in an effort to accommodate them. That's not being a maid anymore, that's being a slave. What the hell? A girl like this needs some urgent protection. Oh, and you are going to protect her, huh?
今時こんな献身美徳な子がいるとは。
Stop it.
軽いめまいすら覚えるぜ。でもダメだ。ダメなんだ。俺がいやらしい顔で迫る。
He wants to do it again. Oh my god.
ハッタウス。いやん、エッチ。そういうお約束じゃないとオチがつかねえんだよ。頼むよ、お願いだよ。俺を引っ叩いてくれよ。こう、バチンと、バチンと。
お願いは聞けません。家具ですから。
Again. Oh my god, what the hell? So they are slaves.
でも命令ならお聞きします。
Okay. So that kinky play, huh? Master servant. Oh, she clearly likes him.
それが務めですから。
じゃあ 命令させてもらうことにするよ。次からバトラ君が胸に触ろうとしてきたら、平手打ちで反撃すること。いいね。
Oh, I'm sensing the love triangle here. Okay.
はい。仰せつかりました。以後、そのようにさせていただきます。
Okay, now hit him,
バトラ
please.
様、ご承知おきくださいませ。
So Shannon-chan declared while bowing elegantly to me. Her facial expression was radiant. I gave her a thumbs up to signal you got it.
6年前はお手伝いさんの連れ子がついでにお手伝いみたいな印象だったんだけど、すっかり一人前の使用人さんだな。今年で何年になるんだ？
はい。おかげさまで10年ほどお使いさせていただいております。
She is that. Kanji for her name are read as Shannon. This is another far from typical name for a Japanese person. Being a kid back in those days, I had taken in her name without paying it much attention. But for her to be called something like that is pretty unusual, given that she isn't a member of the Ushiromiya family. Maybe it's like a servant's professional name or something. So, I can kind of understand why that Kanon-kun's name sounds the way it does too. Yeah, they're very similar. Because they were brother and sister. She's a long-term servant who served here since she was 6. She's 16? Since her body had changed radically, she didn't match my memories, but we used to know each other. 6 years ago. Glad. Another sip. It looked like she was just as shy as she had been in the past. But I got the sense that she had become imbued with a charm befitting a girl her age. Especially her breasts.
さっき会ったカノン君は彼女の弟なんだよ。
弟というわけでは。でも、私のことを姉と慕ってくれます。
Not exactly my little brother.
何か失礼なことはしませんでしたか？
But you are so similar. The eyes.
相変わらずいつも通りだぜ。
Then again, she has similar eyes to Jessica, so might not mean much.
もうちょっと愛想よくすればいいのによ。
カノン君がご迷惑をおかけしたようで申し訳ございません。
別に迷惑なんか何も。同じ男としてわかるさ。ありゃ気難しい年頃だ。愛想が悪いのは当たり前だぜ。
Isn't Kanon 16 as well?
マリアもよく言われる。愛想悪いって言われる。カノンと一緒。
Well, that's not. Who is calling you unsociable?
マリア様は愛想悪くなんかありません。一緒が良かった。
食事の準備ができたんだっけ？
はい。失礼いたしました。お食事のご用意が整いましたので、皆様をお屋敷へご案内いたします。
Shannon bowed again formally and returned to her duty mode. We realized that if we made her stick around for any more light conversation, it would actually make it harder for her to do her job, so we got off our butts to avoid interfering with her work any further.
じゃあ、お屋敷に行こうか。みんなもお腹が空いてたところでしょ？
だな。ゴーダさんがいる時の飯は楽しみなんだよ。あの人、どこぞの有名ホテルでシェフをやってたらしくて、かなり料理の腕があるんだぜ。
ほうほう、それ楽しみ。
I mean, hotel food isn't exactly good.
行こうぜマリア。ガツガツ犬みたいに食い散らかすぞ。
犬みたいに食い散らかす。
ダメダメ。バトラ君の言うことはいちいち真に受けちゃダメだよ。全部冗談なんだから。さあ、行こう行こう。
Under Shannon-chan's guidance, we headed towards the mansion. I don't know, does Shannon have feeling for Battler? I don't know. Or is she just shy? Was embarrassed? I don't know. Met once again by the magnificent rose garden, we continue onward as it came into view. The imposing mansion of the Ushiromiya family. It had apparently been built shortly after the war, so you could feel the dignity of almost a half a century hanging out about it. On the surface, the building was gorgeous, but being as old as it was seemingly lacking in modern amenities like air conditioning. According to Jessica, midwinter was especially tough, what with all the drafts. Well, it's not like they can just take the kotatsu out. I mean, this is a Western style mansion. Does they have the kotatsu? Man, I love the music. As we entered the entrance hall, an aged servant greeted us. Now him I remembered. As the most senior member of the staff, Genji's son served as the head of the servants.
バトラ様、お久しゅうございます。
Oh my god, he remembers me. As our eyes met, he saluted us with a composed voice. He didn't give quite as refined as bow as Goda's, but it was a bow that had a feeling, even if it wasn't as polished to the same degree.
Genjiさん、本当にお久しぶりっす。お元気そうですね。
おかげさまで健やかに過ごさせていただいております。バトラ様こそご立派になられました。親方様の若き日に少し似てこられましたな。
俺がじい様に？
Oh my god.
ってことは、さぞやじい様は若い頃モテたろうな。
ここからはシャノンに代わって私がご案内申し上げます。どうぞこちらへ。
Shannon-chan bowed deeply and saw us off. Leaving the entrance hall, we headed to the dinner hall under Genji-san's guidance. Genji-san, just like Kumasawa-san, stood in stark contrast to us young people who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His figure was exactly the same as in my memories of 6 years ago. It seemed... Wait. They said it 3 times, right? Three shots of water. Genji-san was a silent and diligent person. He was like grandfather's close aide or caregiver. In fact, you could even go so far as to say he was grandfather's right-hand man. Actually, it seemed he was by grandfather's side more than my late grandmother was. Oh, so Kinzo doesn't have a wife anymore. I thought she was the madam. According to Jessica, grandfather trusts him more than any of his blood relatives. But I wonder how long he served. Never asked for details, but I think I heard he has been there since the beginning, when the mansion was constructed. That is to say, he's dedicated half his entire life to serving here. I wonder grandfather trusts him. As we cut through the open ceiling-jed hall behind Genji-san, I found something I had no memory of from 6 years ago. Is she a waifu? It was an awfully big portrait hung right in front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking under its spell. Love at first sight. Since I'd suddenly stopped, Maria was following behind me, ran into my back. Oh, sorry, Maria.
ああ、悪い。なあ、ジェシカ。あんな絵、前はあったっけ？
Pointed at the large and conspicuous portrait hanging from the hall. Hanging in the hall. Everyone else stopped too.
ああ、そっか。バトラが来てた頃には、あれはかけられてなかったっけ？いつからだったかな。
確か、僕の記憶が正しければ、一昨年あたりだったと思うよ。
2 years ago.
さようでございます。
2 years ago and 6 years ago are being prominently and repeatedly spelled out to us.
一昨年の4月に、親方様がかねてより画家に命じて書かせていたものを、あそこに展示なされたのでございます。
Didn't this say Goda started serving here 2 years ago?
あのじいさまがね、わざわざ書かせてか。
The portrait depicted a woman in an elegant dress who gave off a sense of refinement, and who seemed to suit the Western style of his mansion. I couldn't have guessed her age, but the sharpness and obvious strength of will in her eyes gave me the impression of youth. It was a different feeling than the composed mood of a middle-aged woman that are often found in famous pictures. If this woman had a normal black hair, I might have thought it was a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. However, the woman in the portrait had beautiful golden hair and didn't look Japanese at all.
んで
European? American?
誰だいこのご婦人はよ。
As though trying to show off her knowledge, Maria answered that simple question with authority.
マリア知ってる。ベアトリーチェ。
So she knows and Kinzo knows.
ベア、なんだって
They both said Beatrice, and they both study black magic. Okay, I'm seeing something here.
ベアトリーチェ、魔女だよ。
Oh, George knows as well. Oh, there goes my theory.
バトラ君は昔聞かされたことない？
魔女ってこの島の？
I think I already said this, but Rokkenjima is a small island that's only about 10 kilometers around. However, considering that only the Ushiromiya family lives here, that's quite large. So only a harbor and the site around the mansion were said to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as as it was when it was still uninhabited. To understand just how dangerous a vast and empty forest with no lamplight, phones, or people passing through it all actually is, you need to shift your urban assumptions a little. You see, if by chance you fell down a hole in the depths of the forest and sprained your ankle, you would be dead. Cry or scream, no one would come to save you. Yeah. If it then got dark, the forests where there are no streetlights would become enshrouded in complete darkness. Also, since there obviously aren't any guideposts here, it's easy to get lost and lose your sense of direction in dark forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place. But to the people of the bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were like oceans on land, geographically separating one culture from another. Just as fishermen go out into the ocean, occasionally have their lives put in danger, despite their technical knowledge was also demanded of hunters who went out into the forest. and their lives were occasionally put in the danger, just the same. If a child were to go play in the dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Some parents must have had that thought. Maybe my grandmother, or possibly the man himself, my grandfather, may have said it. Why? Or maybe it was a story handed down on this island from long, long ago. There's a terrible witch in the forest, so you must not go in. Thus, Rokkenjima's ghost story was born. That is the legend of the witch of Rokkenjima. So when we say witch on this island, we're referring to the master of the vast and savage forest. Which reminds me, when I was little, I stayed at this mansion during the eerie nights where the wind and rain struck the windows. Stories like the witch of the forest was roaming around in search of a sacrifice scared the heck out of me. BEATRICE, huh? So everybody knows about this girl. As I searched my memory, prompted by Aniki, I did vaguely remember being told that was her name when I was very small. But why a painting though?
しかし、あの魔女伝説の魔女にベアトリーチェなんておしゃれな名前がついてたとはとんと忘れてたぜ、じいさまめ。孫たちが信じないもんだからわざわざ絵に描きやがったか。
BEATRICE。
じいさまの妄想の中の魔女だよ。この絵を掲げた頃から現実と幻想の区別がつかなくなり始めた。私たちにとっては想像の中の魔女に過ぎないけど、じいさまにとっては彼女はこの島にいる存在、いる。だからそれを理解することができない私たちにもわかるようあの絵を描かせたって言うんだけど気持ち悪いったらありゃしないぜ。
お嬢様、親方様にとっては大切な肖像画です。親方様の前でそのようにおっしゃられることがございませんよ。
わかってるぜ。
お嬢様、親方様にとっては大切な肖像画です。親方様の前でそのようにおっしゃられることがございませんよ。固くお願い申し上げます。
頼まれても言わねえよ。
Jessica turned away after glaring a second at the portrait. So, but doesn't she resemble the witch? Jessica resembles the witch to a T.
行こうよ。食堂にみんなを待たせてるよ。
お腹すいた。
Only a small portion of this island is controlled by the Ushiromiya family. All of the wild remainder was the witch Beatrice's domain. No one could say that she was the being who actually ruled over Rokkenjima. That unsettling, ominous feeling I had when I felt on the boat trip, and I learned that the shrine had been struck by lightning, revived within me a bit. That time, Kumasawa's son had tried to tell an ominous story about Rokkenjima and had been stopped by Jessica. I didn't know what she had tried to tell us about this island. But there was one thing I did know. Rokkenjima's ruler was not that of the Ushiromiya family. It was the witch Beatrice. Yes, because this was the witch's island. Battler is being a bit ominous here. He's being creepy himself. When I looked around, everyone was already heading towards the dining hall. I hurriedly chased after them. We walked up to the huge double doors that led to the dining hall. Genji's son knocked.
お子様方をお連れいたしました。失礼いたします。
The door was opened and we were invited inside. The dining hall, which screamed filthy rich, featured a super long table, which was obviously designed with no other purpose than to make the guests conscious of their rank. And our parents were already seated at it, in accordance with that ordering.
遅えぞガキども。早く席につけよ。
The old bastard pressed us to sit. Only the places where we would sit were empty at the long table, which only made us feel our tardiness all the more. The seat at the very head of the table, which you might call the seat of honor, was for the most highly ranked and reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He was probably planning to come in last to make himself look important. The seating order as you face the seat of honor went to left to right in rows of two, with the rankings of being lower the further you were from it. So, on the left-hand side of the row closest to the seat of honor was the second-ranked seat, belonging to the eldest of the adult siblings, Uncle Cross. It looked like he hadn't arrived yet either, so that seat was empty. And then opposite to him, on the right-hand side of the first row, sat the eldest daughter of the family, Auntie Eva, ranked at number 3. The left side of the second row was for number 4. There sat the old bastard, Rudolph, as the third of the siblings. Opposite him sat number 5, the youngest sibling, Auntie Rosa. Going like this, you might think that the next ones will come with their husbands and wives, but guess again, because the left-hand seat in the following third row, in rank number 6, was actually Jessica's seat. Shouldn't it be husband and wives? Like Cross and his wife, Eva and her husband, Rudolph and his wife, then Rosa. Shouldn't it be like that? It's kind of weird. Opposite her was Georgianiki. Then the seat next to Jessica was me. And opposite me was Maria. And next to me, on the left-hand side of the 5th row, all the way down at number 10, finally came Aunt Natsuhi. Opposite to her was Uncle Hideyoshi. What the hell is this? And next to Aunt Natsuhi in the 6th and final row of the left-hand side was Kirie-san. The seat opposite to Kirie-san had been laid out like the others, but was empty. According to this ranking system, that spot was the seat where Auntie Rosa's husband should be sitting. He hasn't come, as far as I know. The table had been laid out for his seat. Wow, this is so weird. These kinds of ranking orders usually permit the spouse of a corresponding status, but the Ushiromiya family had an original kind of ranking. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe it's a leftover of male chauvinism. What? Yeah. Under the notion that a mother's womb is only a temporary house for the child, and she contributes no genes, the children of direct descent would have the highest ranking, followed by the grandkids. Meaning that the spouses with no blood ties would be considered the last in line. So terrible, but according to the ranking order, grandmother, if she was still alive, would be in a position even lower than mine. Oh, wow. So that means if Battler ever gets a wife and he comes here, his wife is going to sit like all the way down to the table. Oh my god. In youth, obey your father. After marriage, your husband. After aging, your children. A leftover of the times when they used to say, women, no home in 3 worlds. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could always chat with the adult siblings sitting in their group, and us cousins in ours. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, it stirs some very complicated feelings in me. Yeah, I can see that. Aunt Natsuhi, married to the eldest son of the family, responsible for managing the household, and number 2, for all practical intents and purposes, sat to my right, which meant that she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It was difficult to guess what was going on in her head. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
Oh, no sound? What? How nice to see you, Battler-kun. You've grown quite tall, haven't you?
はい。
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
食ったり食べたり食事したりしてたら、いつの間にかこんな身長に。
I don't know what's happening. Did I do something wrong? Guess I should end right here then. And I'll see what's wrong after that. So right now, let's see the characters. Ushiromiya Jessica. Let's see which characters I like the most. Maria, number 1. Battler, number 2. Rosa, number 3. Kyrie. No. Yeah, Kyrie, number 4. Shannon, number 5. Rudolph, number 6. Eva, number 7. George, number 8. Oh. Kanon, number 9. Jessica, number 10. Hideyoshi, number 11. Genji, number 12. Ushiromiya Eva, number 13. Goda, 14. And if I were to put Natsuhi, I would put her above Eva. I guess she's not here yet.
Saすが男の子ね。
Let's save here.
身長はいくつくらいあるの
？180かな。
I really don't know what I did.
つうかおばさん、そ